Welcome class to your introductory video for CIS185 Introduction to Programming, Summer 2023. Course dates June 5th through July 30th. So I'm going to use this video like I would if I were walking into the first day of a campus class. So I'm going to introduce the course, I'm going to look at the course syllabus, we'll look at the textbook, and we'll look at how the chapters are going to be structured. So let's first look at the welcome. My name is Amy Helgeson, and I prefer just to be called Amy, and I am your instructor for CIS 185. Now we're going to use this Blackboard Collaborate Ultra course, or this Blackboard Ultra course, to obtain your assignments, their due dates, and how to submit assignments. And we'll look at that when we look at chapters 1 and 2. The textbook that is used is the 3rd edition, the most recent edition of Python Crash Course. And we'll look at the ebook as we go through this video. We'll be covering 1 to 2 chapters every week. If you are hesitant on learning programming, please note that I'll be providing lecture videos just as I would lecture in on-campus class. So I strongly encourage you to keep up with the reading, practicing by entering in chapter example code and keeping up with your assignments so that you don't become overwhelmed. And please don't hesitate to email me or call me. I do have my phone here on my computer. I don't have a physical phone in my office anymore. So you can leave me a voicemail or you can send me an email with your questions or concerns. Final note, even though this is an online course, it is not self-paced. You are responsible to have your assignments in by the due date. We'll look at that in the course syllabus as well. So looking forward to a great class. So it says, what's next? Download and review the course syllabus. So we're going to go ahead and do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. So course information at the top. We can work with email, we can work with voicemail, but we can also work with Blackboard Collaborate. So I'll just jump out of here real quick, and if you scroll down on the left side, you'll see Class Collaborate, and you can just click on Join Session. So to do that with myself, just set up an appointment with me, and then we can both join live, and you can share your screen with me, I can share my screen with you, and we can work with the code in that way as well. Okay, so again, a reminder, 3rd edition of the textbook, and we'll look at the ebook, but you're also welcome to purchase a physical copy, maybe through the bookstore or maybe through an e-commerce platform such as Amazon. Course description, we're going to look at programming fundamentals, logic development, and top-down program design and application creation, and we're going to use the Python language to do so. You can read through the course learning outcomes and the program learning outcomes. If you have any questions on those, just reach out and let me know. Unit objectives, we'll look at the basic structure and the syntax of Python. We'll look further at variables, lists, and dictionaries. Functions, we'll look at if and elifs and elses, and we'll look at whiles and fors, and then classes and files and file error handling. Assessment methods, will be coding using lab assignments, and we'll also be checking our knowledge with some chapter quizzes. The grading will be, points will be accumulated based on those 2 areas of assessment. Grading scale. And then attendance. Okay, so with this, you just want to make sure that you're using this course shell to obtain the assignments, their due dates, and how to submit the assignments. You want to make sure that you schedule a regular class time for yourself. Maybe that's 1 or 2 hours every day, just to make sure that you don't get caught in a crunch close to that due date. So 6 to 10 hours per week per course. You got to remember that this class is condensed down into an 8-week format. So the 16 weeks into an 8-week format, and so we'll be kind of working in double time as we go through the course schedule. Be aware about internet connections. Just over the weekend we had problems with our internet in our home, so make sure that you're not waiting till 10 o'clock on Sunday night to go ahead and submit your assignments. Plan ahead. You also want to plan ahead because if you need me to debug, I'm going to need at least 2 days in advance of the due date to go ahead and look at your issues that you might be having with a lab assignment. Now, I realize that online learners are full-time workers, sometimes with careers, and that's very much a priority as well. And we also have families, and it is summer, and summer is short in North Dakota. So if you have any vacations or things that come up with work, you just need to create that great communication with me, and that may be through email or through a voicemail, just to let me know that this disruption is happening in your world. Okay, so makeup assignments are due by the due date. Again, if an emergency, a disruption with work, you had to stay longer, those kind of things, but please keep them to a minimum. Meaning you do have a full 7 days to work on your assignments. So don't leave them to day 4, okay, to start. Okay, start working on them right away at day 1 so that you can plan out a schedule for you for the week. So if you were caught at work or had to fill in a shift on Friday and Saturday, and now you're asking for an extension, you should have been planning ahead. Okay, so just make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so again, questions to me, the latest I would like to receive them is Friday, so that I can go ahead and work with them. There's 18 of you in the course, and so if all of you are emailing me with questions on your assignments, it can become an issue just depending on the complexity of the questions. Course outline, so everything is lined out here or outlined in due dates. We'll be looking at couple chapters for the first couple weeks, and then we'll be falling into 1 week per chapter. Now, again, it is summer and we do go on vacation, so if you do need one of these chapters opened up in advance, I'm very willing to do that. So all you need to do is email me with that information, and I will go ahead and open that material. Just, for example, I'm going to be camping from June 28th through July 5th. I will be bringing my computer with so that there is no disruption in the course, and if you have questions, you can certainly email me during that time. But that's not always the case, and so again, if you need to work ahead, just let me know. Okay, institutional syllabus. If you have never seen BSC's procedures and policies, please click on this link and go through that information and let me know if you have any questions. Try it yourself lab assignments. These are worth 10 points, and I'll show you these when we look at chapters 1 and 2. You're going to create a zip folder with each chapter's labs. And so, for example, chapter 2 has 4 separate labs that are assigned. You'll create one zip folder that will contain all 4 of those labs, and then you'll upload that one zip folder to Blackboard. Okay, if your program does not work, meaning you're getting a traceback error, you need to email it to me. So same process, you must zip it because Outlook will block any .py file for security reasons. And so zip it, attach it, and then give me information about what you have tried, okay, to debug your program. Okay, and we'll look at that a little bit more. I was sending out kind of a checklist. It's important for you to complete your work again a few days before that due date. Okay, if your program is broken, meaning it does not work, do not submit it to the Dropbox and then put in the comments area, I could not get this one to run. Okay, it will be graded as a 0. Okay, you need to make sure that if you have questions, you need to email them to me, or again, give me a phone call. Lab assignments will not be graded in advance of any due date. So with the first couple weeks, we're kind of getting our feet wet in the course, chapters 1 through 4, I'm really got a kind of a grace period. So if you were to submit something broken to the Dropbox, I'm going to communicate back to you that you need to email that information to me and ask questions. Okay, so I'll be giving you kind of a second attempt for that. Okay, same thing here with lab assignments will not be graded in advance of any due date. What that simply means is that beyond chapter 4, there shouldn't be any questions, or you're sending me all your chapter files and saying, do these work correctly? You should know if they work correctly. So, but we got to build up that confidence. And so I will allow kind of a grace period for the first couple weeks. Now, submitting a lab that was downloaded from GitHub or other sources will result in a grade of 0. I know that code can be downloaded. I've downloaded it myself. Okay, so do not download code. Okay, if you have questions, you email me, or you could go out to Google and you could enter that question into Google and use maybe like a source called Stack Overflow to help you with that solution or part of a solution for a particular lab. Okay, you will get a 0, and if you create a second offense, okay, I give you a warning that, hey, you're not to be downloading from the internet full code. Okay, if it is a second offense, I will request for you to be removed from the course. Okay, so cheating is not allowed. Okay, let's see here. Here's the next page. Okay, lab assignments must include comments, 30% of the grade. So your name and date must be at the top of your file, and you'll see that in my lecture videos. Include comments throughout the code explaining your logic. So in your own words, next to 2 lines of code, you're going to explain what that code does. And I'll be looking for these in each lab. I also look for those in alien invasion. Okay, and we'll look at alien invasion. It's the final project. We'll start coding it starting in chapter 4, which will begin next week. Okay, so again, if you code what's in the book, okay, because alien invasion, they give you all the code. You just have to code it in correctly. If it does not work, it is a 0 out of 15. Okay, so again, email me if the files are not working correctly. 5 to 10 question quiz given over every chapter covered. They vary from 5 to say 15 points. And they're quiz questions that I've created. This is not a traditional textbook, so this is questions that I have created. No extra credit is offered in this course. You just need to do the work that is assigned. Final words. Okay, so kind of a little bit different for online. Please don't feel that you cannot ask me questions. The really thing that bothers me the most is when students don't ask questions. So please make sure that you ask me questions when you need to ask them. Again, you can do that through email or through voicemail. And I do like debugging code, so don't think that you're bothering me. That's my job, is to help you learn how to code through the Python language. So that is the syllabus. That took a little bit of time to get through, but here is the textbook. So this is the e-textbook, and again, if you prefer a physical textbook, please contact the bookstore, or you can go ahead and just try to purchase it online. So we'll go ahead and click on read now. I'm going to see if it's probably going to actually need to prompt to come in here. So let's see if I can remember my login information. If not, it's a traditional kind of ebook. Yeah, I kind of figured that I wouldn't remember my password. I can try to give it a different one. And I bet you this one is not the correct one either. Yeah. Oh, maybe it is. There we go. And so this is the ebook and what it will look like. And we'll start in the part 1 basics. It kind of gives you this information about the chapters that we'll be going through, and we'll be looking at getting started and so on. So that is the ebook. Let's jump back into here. So if you want to opt out of that, meaning you don't want to be in an ebook environment, make sure that you click on that link that allows you to go ahead and opt out, and that opt-out date is June 9th. Okay, so today is June 5th. Make sure that you do that. What is that? By Friday. Okay, so next and last thing that we're going to cover is just kind of looking at this, how the chapters will be structured. So here is chapter 1, and we'll look at overview and objectives always when it comes to each chapter. So what are we going to be doing in chapter 1? We'll be setting up the programming environment. We'll be looking at Python on different operating systems and Python text editors. So I've had students in the past do Linux, do Mac, or do a Windows environment. So we can work with all types of operating systems. Then we have lectures. And so here is just what this one is, and then chapter 1, getting started. So here is the lecture video. So you'll click on that, taking you out here, and you'll run through the video that I provided. And this one only has one. Some of the chapters have multiple, sometimes 5, 6, 7 lecture videos. Chapter 1 assignments, laid out here what you need to do. So this could be kind of your checklist of what needs to be completed for chapter 1. And then academic honor code, you want to make sure you do that. It's worth 5 points. Introductions discussion, I want to get to know you. So it says, please introduce yourself to your classmates by entering a response below. I give you kind of a list of questions that you can go ahead and go through. Let's see if I can go ahead and click on this. Yeah, but it's laid out in a better format here. Okay, and then your try it yourself labs. So if I click on view assessment here, so complete the try it yourself exercise on page 13. Make sure that you always read through if there's any notes that are posted. So for lab 1-1, you want to pick a topic that interests you and explain why in a Word or a text document. 1-2, we're actually going to create a Python file, and 1-3 will be back in a Word or a text document. So in this case, you're going to upload one zip file that is going to create, it's going to have 3 files in it. And here is a grading rubric. So let's go ahead and click on the grading rubric itself. And this is just a checklist for you, right? So functionality, 4 points, code quality, style and formatting, and documentation. Now, when we are doing this for chapter 1, it really, it might apply to 1-2. Yeah, it does. Very loosely, because we're not creating very complex code here in the beginning. So you can use this to help you with your chapter assignments to make sure that you're getting everything. So functionality, does the program fulfill the requirements of the assignment? Does the program produce the expected outputs? Code quality, is the code well organized and easy to read? Are appropriate variables and functions names used? Is the code efficient and optimized, refactored where appropriate? Style and formatting, formatted consistently and appropriately, blank lines and indentation used. By the way, Python is very picky about indentation. And we'll talk more about that as we get into deeper chapters. Appropriate line lengths and code wrapping used. And then documentation. This is my reminder to you about comments. Again, 30% of the grade. So you can use this for your 1-2 lab as to make sure that you have everything you need. And then here's the chapter quiz. And again, this one is worth 5 points, and this one is 30 minutes. I think some of them are expanded to be 45 minutes. So chapter 2, if we were to look at that, chapter 2, same outline. So that is how your chapters will be structured. Okay, if you have questions for me, please email me, or you can give me a phone call at 224-701-224-5616. I look forward to working with you, and have a great day.